first partners of Win, of our platform. And so people will be able to book at Conscious Hotel, at this very hotel in the future, with crypto and first XDAI. But yeah, again, thank you for coming. This is the first meeting that we have and our first workshop where we bring the community together. We have started the community in 2017 already. We have Pedro and Max that founded Winding Tree that are here with us today. This new project is really a new beginning and a new way of showing what blockchain can do in the travel industry, right? We have made 98 room nights booked with Win in Amsterdam. We have travelers like Pong here today that booked with us. We have accommodation providers among us. We have people from the industry that are not related to crypto at all, to give that perspective as well. We have to know, what we're facing in this industry. We have travelers, we have accommodation providers, we have people from OTAs, from cheaptickets.nl to give their perspective as well. We have people from the educational industry, like AJ from Hotel School The Hague. People, community builders, like Dora. So it's great to see that all these people are, coming together and to build a better travel future for us all. So yeah, again, thank you so much for being here. Now we'll have the workshop until around 6 o'clock. And after that we'll host the after party at the DoubleTree Sky Lounge, the best view in the city in Amsterdam. So of course you're all welcome there as well, and we'll bring some more community members there. But first of all, I'd like to introduce Maxime. He's going to give us a first introduction.
Thank you, Vincent. It's so cool to be here, and really this year sort of marked the new beginning for us, as Vincent was saying, because Winding Tree, I mean, we've been around for a while. By the end of 2016, actually at the end of 2016, I wrote this article and I discussed sort of these ideas with many people from the travel industry, and they were all saying like, oh yeah, it totally makes sense. But I just needed more confirmation. I guess I wrote this article. It's on my LinkedIn profile. It was our manifesto, or sort of like, okay, guys, it's just ridiculous how things are. And a lot of people seemingly agreed, about like 40,000 people right away within like a week or something like that. I'm like, all right, we have to pull the trigger on this one. So, I mean, we've been around for a while, as I said, and in the beginning, was sort of our idea was, what is the problem in travel? I mean, we're saying from the very beginning, it's intermediaries. Why? Well, because prices are higher. The information flows are broken between different parties whenever you book a ticket and stuff like that. So many, again, in the manifesto, go to LinkedIn, go to our white paper and read about that stuff, right? It's all there. And so we thought, okay, we're gonna fix the plumbing. We're gonna fix I don't know, the pipes that connect different providers, different players in the travel space. And we started talking to hotels, to airlines. So for years, we've actually been concentrating on talking. Never talked to consumers. We never talked to consumers before this year, actually. And with moderate success, we were sort of progressing. Then COVID happened, and a lot of companies, a lot of people that we're talking to, they said, oh no, we just fired our whole innovation team, and this is all innovation, whatever. So we thought this year, in the beginning, sort of bring everything closer to reality. And I think last year, two important things happened in the crypto space that sort of allowed us to do this. It's of course the proliferation of layer 2 networks, which again allowed people, some of you are here, to book and without paying like a $30 transaction fee just on Ethereum transaction, but a fraction of a cent instead. Which is cool. And another thing, NFTs happened, which sort of allowed also a lot of people to, I view NFTs as a gateway drug into crypto. lot of people, I guess, excited about NFTs for all the wrong reasons still these days. But the potential of that technology is absolutely huge. So, but because of NFTs, a lot more people, I guess, these days are looking into crypto, and that's a lot of fun. And so this year we thought, let's do something different. And literally what happened is, I took a vacation in February. I went to the mountains of Georgia and I thought I'm going to be skiing every day and stuff like that. So instead of I was coding, I was hacking, I was writing the smart contract that some of you have used when you were booking those hotels. About 5% maybe I wrote of this. It's a lot more complex than just me hacking by myself. And here we are. So literally we completed this project in, I would say, 6 weeks, which is absolutely crazy. But again, the reason we're able to do this is because all of this infrastructure is readily available to any of you right now. Like, you can start doing things like this without, I don't know, paying licensing fees or signing contracts, or I don't know, if you build on other kind of infrastructure, which is super awesome. But anyway, so Winding Tree has been around for a long time, but this year we're taking a different approach. And our biggest problem today is, let me back it up a little bit. What are we doing, right? What do we want to do? What's our end goal? And our end goal is to, using the capabilities of Web3 of blockchains, and using the Web3 ethos that was originally, put forward by Satoshi Nakamoto in the Bitcoin white paper, and not just in the white paper, but really with the software that he wrote, and that he put out in the open for everyone to use without limitations. And it's just a beautiful system that's based on this mathematical and cryptographical principles that, again, all of you can use right now, today, and no one can stop you from doing that. And I think it's, I don't know, we don't emphasize this enough. Like, just this innovation, and again, we've had a few different technologies like that, the internet, right? No one can stop you from using it, right? And, well, maybe in some countries, right? But anyway, if you have access to the internet, no one can stop you from using blockchain. No one can stop you from using that amazing infrastructure, a public good, really, that's out there. And yeah, again, just that innovation is absolutely amazing. But again, Web3 ethos, what is it about? It's about shared ownership, it's about collaboration, it's about really removal of intermediaries, it's about empowering individuals and organizations on so many different levels, and communities as well, right? And that is our vision. So instead of creating now and perpetuating centralized systems where you have a person, an organization, a consortium of sorts who are in charge, or whatever the network is, whatever the organization is, and instead have a shared ownership and shared responsibility in terms of building things, and but building things in such a way, again, that a single person or a few people should not be able to control it, extract value from it, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people, of course, talk these days about sustainability. And travel is, they say, $7 trillion industry, or it was a few years ago, right? I don't know what the numbers are these days, but so I was in Georgia, and actually I was able to observe very closely, because it's such a small community. So I talked to the hotel owner and stuff like that, and we look at numbers that they show us. Me in particular, Luca was there as well, and the average, or the standard commission of booking is 18%, right? 1.8. So that is the commission that's being extracted from that community, and that community is highly dependent on tourism. There's nothing else is there. I don't know, I'm gonna estimate 80% maybe of the income of that community comes from tourism. And 20% of that, so fully multiply, what, 16% of the income of that community goes to some transnational corporation that is established somewhere in Ireland to avoid paying taxes elsewhere, right? How crazy is that? And we keep talking about sustainability and about, I don't know, moving the needle by 1%, 2%. That 60% of the income of that community could go to improving roads. Roads are shitty there. Improving the infrastructure, developing that community, and could go really to, I don't know, to all sorts of different sustainable practices that community simply cannot afford right now, right? And we keep talking about moving the needle by just a, I don't know, fraction of a percentage point, while countries like Aruba, their GDP is 30% tourism, a whole country. And again, just to take 18% figure, multiply those numbers, and again, 5-6% of GDP of a whole country goes elsewhere, somewhere. I mean, we might as well just set it on fire, right? And it, of course, the CEOs of those companies buying yachts and I don't know, whatever they do, of course, it's their thing, right? But yeah, we might as well burn it. So we need to keep those resources available to those communities to again, with 6% of GDP of a whole country, you can do huge things. It's, I don't know, I don't know, maybe someone here is an expert on sustainability, but probably with that amount of money, you could, I don't know, have the electricity of the whole country fully moved to sustainable power, for example. I don't know, restore the coral reefs, whatever you want to do. Again, it's, I don't know about the numbers concretely, that's not my job, but anyway. And so what we propose here at Winding Trees is to build a network where everyone's going to win, not just one person who sits in the middle of all those different transactions, right? But where we all win because we all are stakeholders of these networks, because we all share the ownership of these networks, and we all benefit from it. And of course, it is a lot more responsibility. That's, I don't know if it's a downside, but if you want to change things for yourself, you have to take on more responsibility. And again, with blockchains, it is a little more responsibility. You have to participate in the conversations that we have, I don't know, on our Discord, where we have a ton of people right now from all sorts of different walks of life and hotels and airlines and just us travelers, right? We have to have those conversations, and also you have to protect your private keys, know how to store them. That's responsibility as well. But we have to do it. And sort of the joke I keep telling people is that we go to hotels and we talk to them and they tell us, of course we're suffering from this intermediate, of course the commission fees are crazy. We don't even know the names of the people that are coming to our hotel, which is beyond the point whether they need to know that or not, but again, that's about information flows. And so we tell them, hey, there is a different way. Here you go. And they tell us, of course, almost right away, oh no, this is too wild, too different, too new, we don't know how to do that, why doesn't it work like the system that we used to deal with before? Choose your poison. Of course you can choose, to not do anything, but you will be stuck with the stuff that you're stuck with today. So yes, more responsibility if you want change. But the great thing is that it's not rocket science at all, as this experiment here in Amsterdam showed to us. It's not rocket science at all. And Luca will talk a little bit more about how things worked and about the numbers and stuff, right? But it's amazing. So again, we put this together in such a short amount of time, and it looks like caca sometimes. This looks great, but the actual website. So there's a lot of work to be done, but it worked. Most of the time it worked, I say because I was coding some parts of it, so if it didn't work, that's my fault. So you can blame me. You can talk to me about it. I'm just really grateful that our team, which I also keep telling everyone, we have 20 different nationalities on our team. That's probably the most diverse team that I ever worked on.
20 people.
It's pretty much like that. So, yeah, so very grateful to our team, very grateful, of course, to all the new people that have joined us, you know, in the past 2 weeks and keep working on this. And we have big plans. And our big vision, again, just going to reiterate it just once again before Luca takes over. Our big vision is to have the shared network that travelers, hoteliers, any company really that has to do anything with travel and who is a user of the network, who sells anything through the network, all the participants of this network will have to share the responsibility of keeping the network alive, keeping it going, but also will benefit from all the people and all the companies who participate will benefit from the fact that there is no single intermediary that's at some point going to say, okay, guess what, I'm going to take all the money and you guys do whatever you want, right? That's our big vision. And with this Amsterdam event, we're one step closer to it. It's been a huge success, as I said. 100 rooms booked and about $20,000 saved, in total, right? So we had a 50% discount on the DoubleTree accommodation, which is amazing because there was no intermediary, of course. And I guess they're excited, of course, to provide that. And we're going to do the same. We're going to repeat this for all the Ethereum events this year. Okay, not all, but maybe most of them. For those that matter anyway, right? So, what are we having? Next, Prague, then Barcelona, then Paris, Bogota.
Maybe some in between.
Maybe some in between. We'll see. Right. And again, if you are from I don't know, one of the countries, one of the cities where those events are happening, let's work together. Again, it's not just about us doing all the work. It's let's collaborate. Let's work together on these things, right? So let's bring hotels. Again, I was backtracking to this problem that we have right now. It's all about education. As I said, this is not rocket science, what we've done. Not at all. It's very simple. This year, I think one of our main things that we're going to have to do is to create, I don't know, articles, educational materials, videos, maybe some sort of massive online courses, and to teach, I don't know, mere mortals, travelers like ourselves, and also hoteliers how to work with this system. Again, it's not complicated at all. There are a few simple steps that, I don't know, kids, teenagers can follow very easily and get on board. And let's do it. Again, very, very bright future is waiting for all of us. So yeah, Luca, let's talk about WIN.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna briefly expand a bit on WIN, because the idea of today is I think most of us here are either travelers at heart, or people that are really interested in crypto and how it can be used in real life, or hosts, right? A lot of us love hosting, whether that's professionally and actually having a hotel, or just the love of that art, right? And so we can already jump some slides, and I guess we'll end on Simmert. Yeah, we'll end on Simmert.
That makes sense.
And yeah, I think I just want to explain WIN, and Max already introduced it a bit, but it's a story of 3 cities. So Mestre, where it started, And
Messi is that city in Georgia or other, like a small community.
yeah, and I think in Messi, and maybe we have people on the stream or MFW listening, we had many discussions about like creating this fair marketplace, powered by decentralized ownership and governance, and yeah, the smart contract started to get written on the Gnosis chain, and we have people from there here today, and yeah, it's highly reliant on tourism, right? So this is where I think Win starts, and its foundational, let's say, values and intention. And fun fact about Messia, like another big part of their income comes from Bitcoin mining, which is maybe not a good thing, because yeah, as you know, the environmental damage can be quite big. But yeah, it's a simple tool, and really like the idea is very simple. For those that booked, right, you have you have your own wallet, right, your MetaMask. You see inventory. That inventory has already been minted, right? It's ERC721. It's an NFT, and it's in the wallet of the hotel, right? So there's these two wallets. One has NFTs and one has XDAI, right? You purchase that NFT, that gets transferred to you. Your money goes into a treasury wallet or an escrow. Then you check in, you prove, right? You certify, you validate that you own that NFT and you have that wallet with you, and you have the private keys to that wallet technically. And the status changes, you're checked in, right? And the money gets transferred, 99% for now, right? And this is, yeah, basically, the treasury that accumulates with 1% for now, and I'll dive into the details of that a bit. And the second city actually, and I think it's important we mention it, because it's kind of like the second theme that's important here today. And we were actually trying to launch this during IF Rio. It was in February. Well, just before Devconnect. And we didn't manage. Like, war in Ukraine started. A lot of our team is there, so we had to focus on other things. But I think what we learned from there is just talking. We were talking to a lot of Airbnb hosts, and one of them especially that was one of the first in the community. And even though we like to talk poorly about the big intermediaries, I think what Airbnb did really well is just how they build the community of hosts, right? And if you talk to hosts that were there, especially before their IPO, they felt like they were a family, right? And that's something that I think we want to replicate, right? But with all stakeholders, and I think that's what's important. It's really just holding these events in every city that we will launch and bringing all the stakeholders together with the common values we have, right? Traveling, hosting, trying new things, innovation, and a lot of us are seeing, right, when we go to the Börse und Berlage, the first stock exchange in the world, and we have thousands of people in there that are just like building these new tools. It's also there's a clear cultural and generational shift that's happening, and that we believe can design a new system and create a better future for everyone. And the last city, I guess I'll do like a bit of a city report on Amsterdam, right? Is Amsterdam, right? And this is what we're here to do today, is like this first co-creation process with all of you. And before we started co-creation process, I want to give you an update on the community treasury, right? How much is in the community chest? That's the idea is that eventually that would be co-owned and co-governed on, and like how do we decide where that money gets spent? How much of that should go to, let's say, the global team that's maybe working on the protocol? What kind of governance models can we have? But right now the treasury has an astonishing like $218 in it. Right, and maybe today we can decide what we can do with it, right? That would be like a first good step, right?
Drinks for everyone.
Yeah, well, we have that.
Not enough. That's not enough. Maybe
Still not enough. Right? but now you think like, oh, how is this ever going to work with like 1%? Well, let me enlighten you on some numbers about Amsterdam, right? So in Amsterdam, you have an expectation in 2023, right? And this is according to Colliers. That we'll have like 19 million nights in our capital, right? For a $1 million treasury, right, with an average daily rate of $200, we would need 5,000 room nights sold that year, right? So we already have nearly 100, right? to get to 5,000, it's, at least to me, it doesn't seem that crazy, right? I think like maybe even have enough like crypto people that know about Gnosis that come to Amsterdam to fulfill those 5,000 rooms, right? We have, there's some like teams, blockchain teams that are actually wanting to start to book with us like for the entire team when they go to these events, right? So I don't think it's that crazy, right? To get to those numbers of like $1 million treasury with which you can actually maybe have a community manager for Amsterdam, right? That organizes maybe events monthly with, you know, travelers that book that month maybe, and hotels, and maybe even locals, right, that have maybe a say. And we were brainstorming before about how they could also maybe get rewarded if they live in like areas where over-tourism is like terrible, from the treasury or with tokens. So that's, I guess, what we could discuss today. And I hope, you have some coffee in you, or you're ready to brainstorm with us. Or you have, other ideas on how we could, do this. Because I think the last thing I would like to mention is that the idea is we want to like localize these marketplaces, right? And for that, we really need to separate like the protocol and the inventory, right? Which is the plumbing, and the front end, right? Like this is maybe our take on the front end in like a few weeks. But we could get to a future, and that's the case right now with like Booking.com and Expedia to have like market shares of like 90% in some regions. It's not because everyone's booking for the Booking.com interface that I think we can all agree is pretty much outdated, but apparently they run, you know, thousands of A/B tests every day. But that we could have thousands of front ends, right? But just running on the same kind of inventory and protocol that is fair, right? And it's not like, you know, taking all these commissions. Some of you maybe know Travala, which was the first company to really introduce like crypto payments for hotels. You know, they did an important first step, right? They enabled people that had crypto and wanted to use it, right, to book hotel. But in truth, right, in the plumbing of it, they're using Booking.com and Expedia APIs, right? So I think what's important here as well to think is like, we want to localize the marketplace, right? So you could be building your front end for your conference, right? Or maybe there's even like a template that you can just plug in, and you just, you know, plug in, you plug that into the inventory, but that inventory is not like a Booking.com API that is gonna, you know, go back into commissions, and there's the same drain. So I think that's maybe the last important thing in terms of like next steps, that there's that separation between the front end and the back end, so to say. I think that's it. Maybe before we start, like I guess the workshops, we could like separate it in teams. That's the idea, or maybe we grab a coffee first. But I guess maybe for the team that's here, I don't know if someone's like following the YouTube chat, because I'm sure like if MFW is listening and there's a question, he might have an answer, knowing him, or at least something to say. So maybe are there any questions for like the Winding Tree team about WinStates, like something that's really unclear, like foundational?
I was going to ask about the WinStates experience here in Amsterdam. This is the first city, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the first ever NFT booking.
And smart contract.
So it's
hotel.
not like
Gotcha.
for sure.
Yeah, we were chatting about it. I was just wondering, like, what was something that, like, what was like a good, I guess, surprise or experience with it, and what was some bugs or negative side of it that you experienced? It's like 98 bookings or something, right?
Yeah, 98 room nights that were sold.
I have one interesting issue that I felt actually, like I'm living in a DoubleTree at the moment with my friend. We took a room with the double beds, and before like we booked, first of all, he didn't Google what the Winding Tree is. He was trying to Google what the Hilton is doing. And Hilton, they didn't like posted anything regarding the NFTs and so on and so forth. And many of people who were doing like the bookings, they were like not familiar with that. Wow, like Hilton, NFT, crypto? Are you sure? And like they were like a bit confused about what we are doing. But when everything started, they booked, they went on the registration, they scanned the NFT, they were like, wow, I've done it.
The users or the hotel staff?
The users, yeah.
But there were some hiccups though. And I think most of those hiccups were with scanning the QR code. I think that part we didn't quite fleshed out just yet. And like low light conditions, QR code scanning, but I don't know, it should be easy to do.
I mean, maybe like, I don't know, we can ask Ferris, who I know booked for Wednesday, so what was maybe a pleasant surprise and a bug that you had during your experience, if any?
Well, I just saw it on, I think on Twitter. I went to the Telegram where I saw it, and I was really relieved when I checked in and learned it was not a scam.
People were saying, don't rub, don't rub.
From the user experience, I didn't have the wallet on my MetaMask, so I had to pull out my computer. I was on the website.
Right.
It worked like a charm. There were some problems with the light, yes.
Yeah.
Like we put a camera with a flashlight on it. Everything worked. For me, there were no issues, and I was super happy.
Cool.
That was one of the first probably people checking in, yeah.
Yeah.
A question from, let's say, the reception side. How is it working on their side? Because, okay, I understand, you get your NFT, fine in your wallet, you get to the reception, then what?
Yeah, because yesterday I was checking in and there was an issue with the scanning, and actually it was the first day when Vincent and Lucas said that receptionist actually asked for scanning the QR code, and the guy at reception, he was following the procedure. He was just like, you have to have notice chain, you have MetaMask, like following these things. So it takes time for them to understand, and he was apologizing all the time because it was not smooth as usual. So like education, this is the education side, and like the faster the hotel understands that they need this, the faster they make this process on their side, and it will go.
But we gave them the procedure, we gave them a piece of paper, it's like literally a 3-step process.
But my question is actually from the property management softwares that they have in the reception
Right.
and the booking, how is it being fed?
It's
in?
not integrated at all.
Not integrated,
No,
so at the
no.
moment
I
basically
mean,
you're selling those NFTs and they have to actually on the other side still.
we're
liquidate
dealing
it.
with the travel industry. It's doing, that's gonna take years, integrating with property management systems.
Yeah,
probably, right?
we've followed them especially. I mean, we've already reached out to like, find partnerships, and technically there's already APIs that we have that we just probably need to remodel for this and could work, but we require probably manual integration and making sure that their property management system provider actually like agrees to them going through with that. And probably by now MFW has posted some messages about integrating with property management systems and channel managers, but I think it's key, right? And when it comes to the reception staff, I think the challenge that Vincent and I had when we were talking to the duty managers and the front desk staff is that there's that weird idea that there's someone that's going to show up and give you like the 4 last digits of their wallet address. But it doesn't really matter at the end, right? Because if they verify that they hold that NFT, then it's fine. But there's no name exchange, and there's no email exchange as well, right? And there's already like wallet solutions that would technically enable you to also talk with someone without providing your email or name, which is, yeah, it's very easy, right? It's like, it's a much also faster step to booking, right? Which is something that platforms like Booking.com have been trying to do, like, oh, how can we make travelers book faster, check out faster? Yeah, with a wallet, it's much more simple. You don't have to plug in your information every time, which is a small detail that
But in fact, you still have to do it for the night register, so you don't
Yeah.
skip this phase.
But they still have to check your ID and stuff like that,
that's for,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
legal.
But for a receptionist that has no knowledge about cryptocurrencies, blockchain, APIs, any integrations, for them to tell a traveler, look, no, you have to go to your MetaMask, you have to be connected to the right chain. I think that's already a great step. That, like
that person
That's
probably
crazy.
the day before they knew nothing about blockchains
Yeah.
at all, and next day they're like, yeah, switch to Gnosis.
They probably were hanging out in like Ripple or something.
Yeah.
But again, it's not hard to do, it's not a hard thing to do.
So what support are you providing then if something is going wrong and you've got the guest sitting there and then you've got someone who's obviously has no exposure to crypto and now you're just shoving an instruction booklet?
Yeah.
What happens then? Is there a WhatsApp line? Are you like, what kind of?
I mean, this time around was very, very hands-on. I mean, this is an experiment, everyone is excited about it, like we're on the phone with the guys all the time and stuff, right? But theoretically and technically in the future, when the whole thing is tested and fleshed out, you don't need support. I mean, like the transaction happens on blockchain, and yeah, for a Bitcoin transaction, you don't need support, right? Like it's supposed to work.
How are you gonna, the most big hotels, the large hotels, they will all do overbookings, a certain percentage. So like,
Overbook.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
for
will.
sure.
So there will be problems like, or problems, challenges that guests will be there and the hotel is overbooked, and how will,
But it's then it's their legal responsibility to
It
do
is,
something
yeah.
about it, right? And it's not, it's never the fault of the platform through which, you know, the person is booking and stuff like that.
No.
And you know, I sort of, I'm just gonna stay over there for people online to not get confused who's talking. Like what we're creating here is a network. Truly, it's a network technology, almost exactly like the internet, right? With one important addition is that now we can build programs that have money as a variable baked right into the code, you know? Because before, well, right now, the conventional bookings, sort of, right? You have two systems all the time. One is your property management system and payment, which sits right next to it. They have to be connected somehow.
plus a channel manager.
Even more systems,
Yeah.
yeah, to my point, right? With blockchain, with this, it's all in the same program, first of all. So it's never gonna be the case, which, again, happened to me very recently, that I was booking a flight. I go to the airline website, I'm logged in, I'm a customer, I book a flight, there's some like pop-ups appearing, which confused me a little bit. One says, oh, something went wrong, right on top of it, right away, hey, everything is okay. Then it happens all the time, right? And then I log into the airline website again, and there's no booking. Okay, I check my email, there's no booking. Okay, I check my credit card statement, the transaction is there. Oh my God. Okay, it's an hour at least with the support. With blockchain and non-blockchain, like those two things are the same, right? It's a program that, so it's never going to be the case that you're receiving the money, but you don't issue the ticket, right? It's the same transaction, right? And that is in and of itself, it's another amazing innovation. How many of those are here, right? So it's never going, so the amount of manual sort of labor that has to go into all sorts of different procedures that are happening in the trip. I mean, imagine you want to cancel a hotel booking. Pick up the phone, start calling them, get into the line, press some buttons, whatever, talk to a person. Oh, no, I cannot see your booking, sir. Oh, you don't know how to spell Russian names. All right, so let me just, you know, let her go. So, crazy process. With blockchain, with smart contracts, it's all automated. Like, if the conditions are met that you can cancel your booking, and again, it's a simple program. If the number of days before the booking is more than 30, you receive 100% of your money. Click the button, done. It's a simple transaction. And again, the receiving of the ticket and the payment, it's the same thing. It's never going to be the case that you got the booking but you never paid. Or, you know, you don't need a person in the middle or some other third-party system that is connecting those two things together. But I'm rambling again, so what I was about to say, why did I come here? What were we talking
You can sit down
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all right.
But in the end, the system will be connected to the channel manager because you have to.
Oh, yes, so that's exactly, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. So, but we're building, this technology is exactly, almost exactly, I was saying, like the internet with the addition of like payment here. And so, you book things on internet all the time, but internet doesn't have a support line. Things get disconnected all the time. You know what I'm saying, right? Like this, again, and that's why Bitcoin, another network technology, doesn't have a support line. Does it make sense? And this thing that we're building will not have a support line. Right? It's a smart contract that's executed automatically. Everything is automated. That's the beauty of it. We're removing the human element out of the equation. We're optimizing many things. But yes, okay, whenever the hotel overbooks, it's their responsibility now to walk the person to another hotel, right, as a call. What kind of, okay, let's brainstorm, what kind of other issues could arise potentially?
Actually, out of curiosity, how do you deal with so the guests pay with XDAI or tokens?
Sure.
How do you deal with, like, is there a clearing process behind the scene, happens from tokens?
So, again, that's hotel's responsibility, right, technically, so they can keep it. They can convert it to fiat, they can do whatever, they can go and burn it all. They can go to Aave and invest it into, they can do flash loans, whatever they want, right? Completely their responsibility. We don't want to touch them. We could theoretically, and we have some partners that already work on that, we could theoretically say, hey, you don't want fiat, you don't want crypto, you want fiat, and you don't want to sort of deal with it yourself, like, which is again, how simple is that? Register your business on Coinbase Exchange, convert that thing very easily. Okay, you don't want to do even that, all right, so we have a consultancy company or several of those in different jurisdictions that are available to you, give them a call. If you require that level of hand-holding, you know. Yes?
Are you planning to allow onboarding of fiat, so an end customer could book and you would make a conversion? Or are you also saying, okay.
Okay, let's talk about that.
You have to get your crypto
Sure.
and then.
Sure, I mean, right now, on-ramping and off-ramping, as it's called, you know, like, let's, again, in different jurisdictions, it's different, I guess, so, but in the United States, USDT is, you can exchange it on, USDC is if you exchange it on Coinbase, you don't have to pay a fee, right? So you exchange it $1 to $2. I mean, again, public infrastructure that's readily available to you right now. And in Europe, we're gonna partner with a company that's called Monerium. They have a Euro stablecoin as well, which, like, it's a stablecoin, but also it has an IBAN account. So you receive a stablecoin technically in your account, but then do you wanna transfer it to your regular bank account? 0 fee, separate transfer. There you go.
There are a few ways, again, I
Exactly.
was facing it in not specifically with the travel industry, but off-ramping is possible. A problem I can tell you already that you're going to face, of course, in certain European jurisdictions, if a property or a business is being paid crypto,
Yeah.
then they're starting to have problems with the banks, but that's a regulatory matter that you will have to face.
That's where Monerium comes in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is technically a bank. Correct.
Yeah,
So,
no,
so you
but
go through KYC, and well, I guess, I mean, we're not going to solve the sort of KYC problems of crypto in a short term. So, I mean, theoretically, I don't even know what kind of again, theoretically there are some problems, but I don't know exactly what those could be.
Just on the on-ramping,
Yeah.
sort of talking less just about fit. What about if we've got a traveller wanting to create a profile, they don't want to understand private keys, public keys, they literally just want to log onto an app, upload a profile or connect their Facebook, and then purchase a holiday. How far will we ever cater to those people with this ecosystem, and if we would, how far in the future do you think that would be?
You know, that's a problem of the user interface, basically, right? So yeah, theoretically, a user, a traveler, do they have to know that crypto is being used, like sort of in the background? Not really. The ideal sort of future that I imagine in my head 10 years from now is that, yeah, you don't need to, like right now, the process today, get your Ethereum account, which means that, okay, you have 12-word mnemonic phrase that now you have to store somewhere securely, but also not as securely as, you know, so that you will never find it again, right? And lose your money and et cetera, et cetera. I imagine like 10 years from now, it's an app and you download it and maybe it's connected to, I don't know, hopefully not Facebook, but something else, some sort of social network, right? Where, just 1 second, where you have some sort of like, I mean, it's called Shamir.
Share secret sharing.
Exactly, right? Where if you lost your key or access to that device, or if you lost your device or something like that, okay, get a new device, talk to 3 out of 10 of your friends, and your keys are sort of sorted and stuff like that. So you never have to think about it, right? Long way to go. A lot of work needs to be done. Hopefully, other crypto companies will be doing those things. But yeah.
I mean, you're practically right. It's, I think Portis or Bitsky solved that problem like a year ago. They have like OAuth, social logins,
Sure.
all the way to like Web3 provider, like a hosted wallet.
Yeah.
So it's already being solved.
Yeah, and again, it's not just us that sort of it's not just Winding Tree or Win that's having this problem. It's the whole industry is very actively is working towards the future where it's so much easier to get onboarded with crypto and stuff. So, but what other problems can theoretically, there are some people from hospitality here. Like, what kind of problems could theoretically arise here, right? I send a transaction. As I said, it's never going to be the case, simply impossible because of the nature of smart contracts that you send money, you receive the NFT, you have it in your wallet, you go to the hotel. A hotel is hopefully, if they're doing this, they're educated, they know the procedure, they scan your QR code, or it's the other way around, you scan some sort of QR code. Yes.
It's like, from my experience, we were looking and I think we got a cruise room.
Yeah.
Then a mail came along, so we were two, we needed a twin. We approached the team to figure this out because we couldn't call the hotel and tell them, hey, those are the 4 digits of my key. Please tell me if I have a twin or three. Also, when we checked in, the reservation was for 1 person. It didn't change to 2 person. It is a twin bed, but we were 2 and they're on the breakfast for 1 and then they had to change it. So I guess at the end of the stay, we're just going to pay by credit card or something like that. But,
So like the fee for the additional person, right?
I think so. So we're just going to pay on top of that because
Correct.
we could not change the transaction.
Yeah, that's a, sort of like bug report and feature request in one here, right?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah.
They're written down now.
Like notes.
No, but I think that's actually an opportunity as well, because hotels want you to buy more in advance. So selling things like breakfast, like spa access or whatever, if you can find a way to sell that in advance, it's actually a huge advantage over what the capabilities are right now with like Bookings and Expedia, where you don't want to pass all those things on to them because they're taking a big cut out of that. So if you can somehow sell those ancillaries in advance, in a tokenized way, that's actually a huge win.
Yeah.
Just another NFT.
Yeah, it is just another NFT, and
And
like
if you don't get the confirmation, how do you know what you bought?
you go into your MetaMask, so MetaMask wallet, and you can see the details of the NFT that you bought.
You would say like breakfast.
And again, like
would be
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah, the
spa.
infrastructure is lagging. We even had a chat with someone from MetaMask this week. They were asking about ticketing and they wanted to know like what we were doing, and the MetaMask interface is not that clear that if you
No,
did book
okay.
your span and stuff like that, it would appear perfectly and clear to everyone. But
Another thing is get the customer journey is we also like to send a mail if guests come, what the shuttle information, upselling, if the guest is gone, how was your stay, blah blah blah. So if there's no mail, how will we?
Well, I think you should receive it, again, following the GDPR and everything. So for just the bare bones, and I like that experience, sort of, that I went to the hotel and I was expecting for them, they made me sign some sort of piece of paper and stuff like that, but instead of my name, it was my wallet address. I'm like, yeah, they don't need my name, really. Like, yeah, when you go to buy gum at a supermarket, do they need your name? To like, hey, we have a new gum, to text you later or something? No, they don't.
Well,
And if I, and that's sort of like, it's a whole separate conversation, of course, which I personally hated, that every company that I buy something from on the internet thinks that they have the right now to like send me all their shitty emails all day long, No, I don't want that. So, first of all, let's start with that. Let's start with a clean slate. If I don't want you to send me emails, I should be able to opt in into that. I know where I booked. I know where I'm going. if I need shuttle information, I should be able to go to your website.
Yeah,
read all about
you
it.
know, but you
Don't
you,
don't email me.
No, but you have no idea of how stupid most travelers are not stupid,
That's
but
not the problem we're gonna solve here and now.
But it's a fair point, and I think to that answer is like, there are solutions, right, where you can have messaging between wallets,
that-
right?
And that's, so I didn't
Yeah.
get to that. I think you should be able to do that. If
If you say so, yeah.
if I say so, yes, I want to open a communication channel with you, and I allow you to send me messages, I should be able to specify, hey, no commercial, blah, blah, no upselling,
well,
no
maybe you
nothing
should
like
just
that.
be able to say, okay, I need shuttle, I need tourist, I need sauna, I need this.
You know,
And it's an
ideally-
upsell opportunity.
Yeah.
Ideally, in my wallet, which is my identity, sort of, right? I'm gonna, once and for all, I'm gonna say, no emails. And if someone sends me an email, I'm gonna go and sue their ass.
If it doesn't change, then you actually have the proof that you said no emails. That's
Yeah.
the
Correct.
good thing about blockchain.
Yeah.
Correct.
Another thing, in response to the request here to actually get shuttle information and so forth, what you could, and again, I think you are running now Ethereum, so I'm not sure how efficient it is, but definitely another place, you could make airdrops of free drops basically of the information as an NFT, so just batch back a drop of the information.
That's a little bit of an evil kind of approach
That's
to
not a
this.
Maybe it's
It's
even
the
better.
same as spamming emails to someone,
Maybe
right?
it's even
No,
better to
but
do.
if you are engaged with the hotel and the hotel has to send you information, then instead of opening a channel somewhere, just drop.
No,
them
okay,
and
so
then
opening a
information.
channel is just
Yeah. that's-
words that I said.
Exactly.
What it could mean all sorts of different things. It could be, in my head, when I say opening the communication channel, it's some sort of encrypted communication channel with the hotel that, again, I can close anytime, whatever, and through which I can transmit, let's say, I don't know, theoretically there could be an option for me to send my picture of my ID so I don't spend a lot of time, or again, in my wallet, maybe I pre-select that. I'm like, I'm booking at this hotel. I want all my details, relevant details, to be sent directly to the hotel through an encrypted and secure channel right away. And that's it, right? So I don't have to spend time at check-in. And maybe that NFT that the hotel sends back to me will be preloaded with some sort of NFC thing that I don't even go to check-in. I go to the door right away and I unlock it with my phone, right? It's a thing like that.
Yeah, maybe a point from MFW here on this point, who just messaged the Discord. Yeah, so you could actually, you know, establish a channel that's, yeah, would be part of the contract that actually gets created when the booking is made, and then as soon as checkout is effectuated, that channel is closed, so there's no more communication, right? So that could be also a solution to not get the spam when the journey ends, so to say, right?
And then if you do want to retain somebody, I think it's a marketing opportunity having all of this new crowd coming in with a new way of booking, and if somehow there is a reason for them to return, which I know like the average booking globally is not, it's only one time per location, but then you have the people that return regularly, right? So you want to snag those and you want to get them on some kind of loyalty, so you can have them sign up on the spot, but then it's all opt-in rather than kind of forced, which half those people aren't listening, or not even half, probably 99% of them aren't listening, and you're just spamming. You could say, hey, would you like to continue these benefits, you know, whatever, pitch it to them on the spot, and then the main thing is getting that upsell up front before they get there, as far as the average person who's not your regular customer.
Literally have two prizes given. You want people that want to opt in and one that wants to opt out. Free breakfast or discounted free gas.
Well, guys, just a quick note, if you like want to go do a coffee break or something, like just start yawning, okay?
Not yet.
Okay, that's a yes. Go to coffee break or? Anyway, so we're talking about problems, but maybe, yeah, if we have no other, okay, there will be bugs, there will be problems for sure. I'm not saying like, hey, this is going to be just working and magically out of the box. Of course not. Yeah, and sort of the point I wanted to make here, like, this is a platform that connects different parties together. There will be problems, again, so the interface that some of you have interacted with, like, we sort of built it ourselves, right? Again, the beauty of this system, if it's completely decentralized, any one of you can build the same interface. Look, you don't even have to build it. Take it from our GitHub and run it on your own server, and you're gonna have the same thing, the same experience on your website. And we cannot stop you from doing that. Again, that's the beauty of decentralized tech. That's the beauty of like internet blockchains and stuff like that, right? But in this case, again, just logically, right? Someone else builds an interface for the smart contract that lives on the blockchain. Those people will be responsible for the functioning of that interface, right? And so, yeah, interfaces will have problems and bugs and whatever it is. Yeah, but the smart contract will just work as promised, as advertised on the can. And yeah, and the community, again, we're talking about shared ownership and governance, right? There will be bugs definitely in the smart contract, unfortunately, as well. Hopefully they're not going to be critical so that all the money is gone or something like that. But the community will be able to gather and say, yes, we are voting to fix this bug or introduce a new feature, and you know, it's a yay or nay. And actually we haven't even discussed sort of our vision for hierarchical system of smart contracts here. So it's not going to be just one smart contract that governs everything. We believe that, I think there's potential here for, let's say, Amsterdam hotels to get together and decide what kind of rules their particular smart contract that's designed for this city is going to have. What maybe there is like some sort of, you know, I'm going to put it this way. There's a potential for decentralized destination management organizations, basically, right? So, which smart contract again represents, maybe for Amsterdam, represents the treasury of that DMO, all the participants, all the travelers that are relevant to this destination will be able to maybe change the rules a little bit of this smart contract, etc. Out there in the future, but sort of that's what we are. We're going to have the options, we're going to have the possibilities for those smart contracts to be built out like this. There will be some global governance, some global smart contract, and global treasury, which we need again to perpetuate the existence of this network. And then there will be local treasuries and local management and stuff like that. So anyway, if there are no like sort of suggestions or questions or anything right now, we could go for a quick coffee break, and then we will have 1 more hour sort of to converse about these things.
Yeah, exactly. I think like we'll do a bit more of like a workshop format. I think after this, I think it will be nicer, like smaller groups, and we have kind of all stakeholders represented more or less. So it would be interesting to see everyone's view of this, whether you're a traveler, someone that's working on protocols, or hosts. Have a nice exchange. I think the wine entry team will also be, will obviously be there, and try to listen and give some input if needed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Give us feedback. I mean, again, let's make it a collaboration, and join our Discord. Give us shit.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
all.
send it. Yeah, we'll have the links. But I guess some coffee probably before.
Yeah,
and I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, actually after the coffee break we will touch the governance, the DAO. I hope that most of you guys has been participating in DAO. I've got some issues with it, and I want to check it out, like what we can do together to be sure that our DAO will be like more efficient.
But we'll give you an introduction about.
Yeah, of course. If those who don't know that, I for sure will explain it a bit. And I'll give like an example what I've been watching for, which issues I've been like struggling for, and like I've asked you some questions regarding what we can do and what we can think about.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
10-15 minutes? Sure, 10-15.
You guys like requests pay with other exchange tokens?
Yeah, I mean,
USDT on ETH or?
like the Polygon team reached out and they were kind of asking if we would go on Polygon. I guess their issue with them is like the centralization of their network is not. something that gives us like a good reason to